Okay, it's time to deal with Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Overlord DVD, who has made a video where he's claiming that it's a ratings disaster for Disney Plus because it's too woke. I actually did a tweet about this a while back. Let me see if I can pull it up. One sec. It's so funny to me that Chuds all around are like upset and surprised that a TV show whose entire premise is that of the legacy of Captain America. Like, I did this tweet responding to Tim Pool, our favorite Beanie Boy, where he says, the wokeness in Falcon and Winter Soldier is starting to get too thick for it to be enjoyable. I'm not going to spoil Falcon and the Winter Soldier, by the way. I'm sure not everyone has seen it. And then I just posted comic book panels like this one, which is one of my favorite comic book pages of all time with Captain America. This is a what-if issue from, I think, the 80s, where a fascistic, evil Captain America takes over, and then the real Captain America shows up, and this is what he says. Listen to me, all of you out there, you were told by this man, your hero, that America is the greatest country in the world. He told you that Americans were the greatest people, that America could be refined like silver, could have the impurities hammered out of it, and shine more brightly. He went on about how precious America was, how you needed to make sure it remained great, and he told you anything was justified to preserve that great treasure, that pearl of great price that is America. Well, I say America is nothing without its ideals, its commitment to the freedom of all. America is a piece of trash. A nation is nothing. A flag is a piece of cloth. I fought Adolf Hitler not because America was great, but because it was fragile. I knew that liberty could as easily be snuffed out here as in Nazi Germany. As a people, we were no different from them. When I returned, I saw that you nearly did turn America into nothing, and the only reason you're not less than nothing is it's still possible for you to bring freedom back to America. So, you know, Captain America had a lot of commentary, and still does, on American politics, the state of America, on race. Here's an issue where Sam Wilson, the Falcon, gets arrested because he's at the scene of a crime, but of course he's stopping the crime. He's a superhero, but he gets arrested because he's black. Of course, the first issue of Captain America was Captain America punching Adolf Hitler in the face. There's a ton of these. Other people responded to my thread with other comic book panels from Captain America that are political in nature. You think I'm a traitor? Grow up, fella. Times have changed. America's in danger within as well as without. There's organized crime, injustice, and fascism. Or wouldn't you recognize that? Are you calling me a fascist? This is the time that Captain America renounced being Captain America during Watergate. Like, there's a ton of stuff like this, is my point. Captain America is inherently political by the very nature of his existence. And anyone who says otherwise is an idiot. Here's a Stan soapbox. Stan Lee, famous editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics for decades. And here's what he said in one of his, editor things in the back of the comic book, Stan's soapbox. From time to time we receive letters from readers who wonder why there's so much moralizing in our mags. They take great pains to point out that comics are supposed to be escapist reading and nothing more. But somehow, I can't see it that way. It seems to me that a story, without a message, however subliminal, is like a man without a soul. In fact, even the most escapist literature of all, old-time fairy tales and heroic legend, contain moral and philosophical points of view. At every college campus where I may speak, there's as much discussion of war and peace, civil rights, and so-called youth rebellion as there is of our Marvel mags, per se. None of us lives in a vacuum. None of us is untouched by the everyday events about us, events which shape our stories just as they shape our lives. Sure, our tales could be called escapist, but just because something's for fun doesn't mean we have to blanket our brains while we read it. Excelsior. Stan Lee. So, when Chuds are like, there's too much politics in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, what they're saying is, I don't like the fact that they're talking about issues that face black Americans in a show about a black man becoming Captain America. It's completely disingenuous. So let's see what Doomcock has to say about all this. Oh yeah, there are definitely problematic portrayals of Captain America. The old Captain America especially. For sure. Wait, is this Steve Rogers Captain America, or was this when it was the other one? But I wouldn't be surprised. There's definitely been very questionable ones. Ultimate Captain America is also a huge asshole. Love the hat. Thank you. I'll go over Bit's messages in a little bit. Sorry.
Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the
It was the
future
other one.
ruler of
Yeah.
Earth, broadcasting from Section X Studios at the center of the Earth. And this is the Pop Culture Breakdown, a rundown of the top pop culture stories and rumors of the day. We have a story a little later about a sex scandal involving Geode, the lovable rock guy from Star Wars The High Republic that I think you'll find particularly amusing. But our lead story tonight, according to a new rumor, Marvel fans are tuning out in droves as the Falcon and the Winter Soldier goes woke.
Every source I could find on this, by the way, said the opposite, and that The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is one of the most popular shows on Disney+. It's more popular than WandaVision in viewership. Like, it's one of the top shows on Disney+. So, I'm curious where his source is for this.
Some new information has been brought to my attention suggesting that The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is losing its audience in a major way due to wokeness.
It's top watched on pirating sites too. That's usually a good way to see how much interest is in a show.
Offering hard viewing statistics as evidence that get woke, go broke is not simply a phrase, it is an axiom. This is bad.
Disney Plus planned to, I think, have 90 million subscribers to Disney Plus within 4 years of its release. I think we're 2 years in right now, and they have over 100 million, so they've broken even their most conservative estimates, or even their most whatever, you know. So no, Disney is not going broke. Sorry.
People, so buckle your seatbelts, the ride's about to get bumpy. What I'm about to share with you is information provided to me from a source claiming to have knowledge of very particular data.
Oh, his source is bullshit. Someone came to me and said, I work for Disney and I have internal engagement data, even though the released data from Nielsen says that Falcon and the Winter Soldier is doing incredibly strong in the ratings. Well, this random guy, whose uncle also works for Nintendo, by the way, and told me Super Mario 128 will be coming out any day now, he says that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is doing bad because woke.
Regarding Disney Plus viewership, it is very specific and very eye-opening if true. However, since I cannot independently verify this information, I must ask you to please view what I'm about to tell you as unverified rumor.
No shit. Do you do anything else? All your material is trash that random people tell you and they're like, I definitely work for Disney, wink wink.
And please,
or 4chan rumors that you act like you have an inside source for when it was just literally posted on 4chan.
please take it with a grain of salt. So what is meant by the term tots? No, not tater tots, my friends. What I'm referring to is TOTS, Tune Out Timestamp. The Tune Out timestamp is logged on Disney Plus whenever a viewer stops watching a particular movie or television episode. It's useful to the bean counters at Disney Plus to note when they lose a particular viewer because this can give them valuable data about how the show is doing and what that viewer thinks about it. For example, if the Tune Out timestamp shows that most viewers watch the episode up until the end credits, that tells Disney executives the show was successful at retaining the audience for the most part. But if large groups of people start tuning out well before the end credits roll, that would indicate there's at least potentially a problem with the show. Such is the case with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, as these numbers dramatically indicate. According to this source, a source that has provided me with viewer data before,
Have they been right about viewer data, or was that also unsubstantiated and you just assumed it was true because it told you what you wanted to hear? Just curious.
while the Falcon and the Winter Soldier had not been doing badly in terms of overall ratings prior to this incident, things took a turn.
The incident. It talked about racial issues in America. The incident.
For the worse over the past weekend. This source claims
Actual real-life minorities getting shot by police. I sleep. Disney show about superheroes talks about this issue. The incident.
that around 5 p.m. on Saturday, across the board.
Oh yeah, these grifters make a lot of money. This video alone has 163,000 views. This guy has 250,000 subscribers. These Chud rumor mill channels, like the Quartering and this guy, make a ton of money. The salt mines never run dry with these people. It's hilarious.
The timeout tune stamp numbers for the second episode of The Falcon and Winter Soldier went crazy, with people turning the show off in droves, all at around the same part of the show within seconds of each other. This was highly unusual, my source claims, that so many people would be tuning out of a particular episode at almost exactly the same time. What could be happening in the story to prompt so many mass defections? If anything, the situation only got worse over time, leading this source out of curiosity to watch the episode and try to figure out what was going on.
Wait, so they're a source inside Disney that has access to this information, but the reporter, whatever they were reading, didn't already have in there what was happening at that time period, or like there wasn't some sort of contextual? I'm gonna call bullshit on that. Like Disney's just like, they all tuned out at this timestamp. We don't know why. We have the thing and we could look at it, but we would have to turn on a TV for that, and you know, we're Disney, so we definitely don't do tons of research into what our audience likes. We're only the biggest media company in the history of the planet. Jesus Christ.
And here's what my source had to say. Quote, "My jaw hit the floor. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. All the turnout was at the cop scene, where it clearly shows they were ready to pull their guns on a black guy who was arguing with a white guy. It's clear that
Again, it's all fan fiction. Imagine being so fragile that you need to have an idiot in a mask feed you fan fiction about audiences not liking political commentary because you're such a bitch baby that you don't like your television shows having actual substance. They're not coddling your view of the world, so clearly everyone hates it. Jesus Christ.
this was the message." Unquote. So in other words, Disney felt like sticking a Black Lives Matter message smack dab in the middle of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 2.
Yeah, if you've read the comics where Sam Wilson becomes Captain America, that the show is loosely based on, there's a lot of, that's like the main theme, is what does it mean for a black man in America to become a symbol of America, and how does America react to that? How is his view of America colored by the fact that he is a minority in a country that historically does not treat minorities very well? That's like a big theme. If you just acted like that wasn't a thing at all in the show, it would be incredibly disingenuous and out of place, because that's not how it works. That's not how the world works.
And what do you know? Apparently fans who were sick to death of bad news and tragic headlines decided they had had enough and turned off the episode in favor of something a little more fun, like cleaning the bathtub, delousing the dog, or getting a colonoscopy. According to my source, over the course of Friday and Saturday, a full 79.9% of people that were tuning in stopped watching at that.
Okay, this bullshit source, I gave him too much credit. I thought he was gonna say, And again, this is a nameless source. This is not a true story. This is fucking fan fiction that someone wrote and he's reporting on because he likes money. Which I get. I like money too. I thought the rumor was at least going to have the sense to say like, oh, I don't know, 20 or 30% of the audience dipped out, which would still be a ridiculous number. But he's so stupid that he's claiming that 80% of the audience tuned out at a scene about racism, despite the fact that the first episode also had some commentary on this as well with the bank scene. Like, how delusional do you have to be to believe this number? How delusional do you have to be to listen to this guy talk this bullshit day after day and be like, yes, this is worth my time. It's worth my time tuning into this channel to learn that a series made about comic books for children is not catering to my tastes and it's unpopular. So that's great.
That point in the story. We are now joined by our senior ratings analyst, Harvey Cthulhu. Harvey, what do you make of these numbers?
What can I tell you, Doomcock? The people have spoken. They are sick to death of having woke crap shoved in their faces. Maybe when they watch a superhero TV show or movie, they want escapism, not more headlines ripped from CNN.
Find me a single worthwhile comic book that has absolutely no political commentary. Seriously, I would bet Doomcock $500 that he can't find me a popular comic book from the last 40 years that didn't have at least some political underpinnings that you can point at. Some moral lesson about right and wrong. He's stupid enough that he'd probably be like, what about Watchmen? That's just a fun story about superheroes. I love Rorschach. He's so cool. The Flintstones? I own the Flintstones comic. That shit was great. The issue with Wilma doing the hand paintings. Oh, so good.
It seems to me when people subscribe to services like Disney Plus or Netflix or Hulu, they just want to be entertained, not brainwashed, not educated, not improved. Like Cyndi Lauper, they just want to have fun.
Yes, fun is awful hard to come by these days. Holy shit. 79.9% of people tuned out at the same time?
No, they didn't. This is bullshit that you're reporting on because you know your idiot followers are gonna watch and give you ad money for confirming their bias.
That's a lot of unhappy
people who don't get Watchmen are fascinating. You'd love Zack Snyder then. I hate Zack Snyder. Not as a person. I have nothing against him personally. I just think he's terrible as a director.
campers.
And it only got worse, Harvey. According to this source, overall for the next few days, the TOTS average went up to 83.49% overall. That means 83.49% of viewers turned off the episode at almost exactly the same woke point. This source claims there were also a lot of subsequent
Doomcock or Mimsy, who's the worst puppeteer? Mimsy. At least Doomcock knows to not have his mouth on screen because he can't lip sync.
Cancellation
or throw his voice.
Happening in real time, though I was not provided figures for that. Disney Plus is reportedly in full panic mode, trying to find a way to spin this mass defection.
I'm just imagining that gif of Woody Harrelson where in Zombieland where he's wiping his tears with like $100 bills. People complaining about politics and media are just people realizing their side are bad and they have to face it, or just that they're unpopular.
Into good news. And as a perfect bookend to this story, Harvey, I am told some brave soul working for Disney Plus, upon hearing this news, shrugged and...
The irony, too, of this guy whose channel is like half devoted to stories about Star Wars, not wanting politics in his media. Star Wars' main plot is about a fascist Nazi-esque government that has taken over the galaxy with literal jackbooted stormtroopers and a resistance fighting them. Like, do you not understand? Do you not get it? Do you not understand that the things you enjoy are political? Frustrating.
And said, "Get woke, go broke," and was fired on the spot.
Hold on!
Some brave soul working for District Bookend to this story, Harvey. I am told some brave soul working for Disney Plus, upon hearing this news, shrugged and said, "Get woke, go broke," and was fired on the spot.
And then everyone clapped. That young man's name? Albert Einstein. What a dumb asshole. Who reads that story and goes, "This is a real thing that happened"? Jesus Christ.
In front of everyone. My friends, in an age of lies, telling the truth is a revolutionary act.
Oh, the irony! The palpable, delicious irony!
And now, this. A picture of Chud dressed in drag was leaked onto Twitter by none other than Fat Steven Seagal, aka Legendary Fat Steven, last week, ensuring that Star Wars The High Republic is off to a scandalous start. Turns out that Chud likes to cross-dress in order to get his rocks off.
Who is Chud? I don't watch Star Wars extended media stuff.
He's a lava, not a fighter. And while there's nothing wrong with dressing up in a French-made outfit and doing things with a feather duster that would make the Marquis de Sade blush, why hasn't Chud released his, her, its pronouns? That would seem to me to be the bolder choice for this rocky fellow. If there's one
Is this whole bit just gonna be making fun of, like, trans people? I don't get it.
thing SJWs hate, it's taking your pronouns for granted. For granted. SJWs
You don't have to repeat the joke, you idiot.
want to know which of the 72
Does that count as transphobia? Yes.
different genders you are. Are you a male rock, or are you something else? Of course, it's not entirely certain that this was a sex thing. It may simply be that in this picture, Chud was auditioning for the part of Captain Marvel. But regardless, even if this is a minor thing to some people, this scandal stalagmite put a stop to Chud's meteoric rise and sent him crashing to Earth. More dirt on Chud as we receive it.
Ooh, boy.
In honor of hashtag Trans Day of Visibility,
Oh, God. This is gonna be... I don't know what it's gonna be, but this is probably gonna be painful.
Lucasfilm issued the following tweet. Star Wars, in honor of hashtag Trans Day of Visibility, we're proud to unveil an exclusive cover highlighting Tarek and Sarat, trans non-binary Jedi currently featured in Marvel's The High Republic comic. We support trans lives, and we are passionate and committed to broadening our representation in a galaxy far, far away. Hashtag TDOV. While I find it distasteful to focus on the sexuality of characters in a
Sexuality is not the same thing as gender identity.
property that is supposed to be family-friendly and
Family friendly. Someone's gender has nothing to do with sex, you fucking idiot.
appeal to all ages, even those that don't know what sex is yet, I'm glad to see that Lucasfilm is finally honoring those who choose to transition away from having eyebrows. The differently follically abled have been too long ignored in our society, and I'm sure it adds so much to the Star Wars universe having characters who proudly eschew eyebrows and hair, as oh so many people do in real life.
I kind of assume they're from a planet without hair. It's Star Wars.
Now, this is going to make the High Republic a hit, for sure. Boy, I can't wait to read this one. Can you? And that, my friends,
I don't believe for a second that Doomcock can read, so that joke doesn't track.
wraps up this edition of Pop Culture Breakdown, our rundown of the top pop culture stories and rumors of the day.
So his top pop culture rumors and stories were a completely nonsense made-up fan fiction just to make his audience salty, a joke about a boulder wearing underwear, and being transphobic about a Trans Visibility Day post. This was definitely worth the 163,000 views he got on this video. Jesus Christ.
From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.
It's not even about something important. Stay angry. They're making Star Wars and Marvel political. Ah! Life is too long. I'm so exhausted.